Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to another video, and today we're going to be talking about something a little different on my channel. It's going to be presented in a slightly different way than normal. I think it might actually be something good, depending on how I'm able to perform properly. I have a lot of steps I wanted to go through with this video with Cloud, the Neo Vision version, and there's a lot of things I want to talk about, so hopefully we can get through that. So I've got a whole bunch of stuff going on with that, and let's go ahead and get into it. So this is just the summary. Now what is Neo Vision Cloud's future? That's a good question, because we kind of already have something very similar to a lot of other scenarios what happened with 7 stars and things. So that's what I'm basing my information off of. When you see this all this information, this is what I'm basing off of, like how the 7 stars were born, in the 7 star beginning of the 7 star era and all those kind of things. So first of all, yeah, he's mostly just a finisher basically. He can chain, but he's not really known for chaining. It's not really something you would want to go out and do, because he's not really built as a chainer. Because if that was the case, he would have the 6 times cap in his brave shift form, and then he'd be probably a lot better off. Not have that though. Sorry about the sniffling. I'm having some problems lately. So anyways, his kit is very doesn't really do anything in terms of supporting. If only that he has a Mirage ability, but it's only for himself. It would be really nice if that was just for everybody. That would be really nice, because then you wouldn't have to bring in someone who needs Mirage anymore. But unfortunately, that's not the case, and it is what it is. He does require a lot of support if you want to do the one-shot builds. And just in general, to get him keep his Olympus crystals up and all those kind of things like imbuing, unless you want to use his own imbue. But then he's only locked to thunder, lightning, what are you going to call it? If you want to use other elements, then you got to find someone who can use those kind of things for supporting. So anyways, yes, he does hit extremely hard if you're able to do those kind of situations where you have him properly set up, and he's super strong, he has killers and things like that. So anyways, let's go ahead and move into rotations. So first of all, what are you bringing him into your team? How are you sliding him into your team? How is he being able to get there? Is he just a chainer? Is he a finisher? Because if he's a finisher, then you have flexibility to make your team better, because if you're doing a trial that you're able to do, put a finisher in, then probably you'll have someone that can use an imbue or an imperil for him as well. So with that being said, he definitely needs a lot of imbues and imperils and limper support if you're not using his thunder brave shift abilities and things like that. Like I said down below, if you're not using for the one-shot limpers, one-shot like I did in my video a few days ago, I was just basically doing that exact situation where I wasn't even using his brave shift ability. We were just going to one-shot builds. That's really what I was using him for. But I mean, obviously, a lot of trials you can't just do that. So you have to, work on his kit. So let's go ahead and move into. Let's go ahead and move into how we do it. So as a chainer, turn 1, since you can just brave shift at will. He basically doesn't have a cooldown on his brave shift, so when you brave shift, he can be brave shifted forever, since he's a Neo Vision unit. I guess that's how it's going to be. So first turn, you want to go ahead and triple cast 300% attack, and also the lightning imbue and a lightning imperil at the same time. Not the same time, but in the same turn. Let's go ahead and see what that looks like, shall we? I'm going to show you guys how that goes. So I remember to do this part of the video. I wanted to do this for you guys. So for those of you guys who don't play on the JB side, or just curious about Cloud, this is what I mean when you're using these abilities. So the cooldown there, use the thunder imbue and the thunder imperil for the first turn. So there's that. Forgot about the game sounds. Whoops. So with that being said, now that he has Thunder Imbue, and the enemy is Thunder Imperiled by a certain amount. So there's that. And now that you would have that done, let's go ahead and move back into where we were with information. So now that we have and Imbue and the Thunder, you know, Thunder Imbue and Thunder Imperil, and we can switch back to normal. You can go ahead and start the 30 MP chaining move, and then 56 MP chaining move, and also the other cooldown. Maybe it may, I don't know if it'll finish or not, but I'm assuming it might. So let's go ahead and see what that looks like. Now, oh, that kind of ruins the whole thing, doesn't it? Got a way to turn the Brave Shift back, so this kind of ruins the whole thing a little bit. You can still chain just fine. That's a bit embarrassing. I just assumed that you could just do it back. Oops. So this kind of ruins the whole thing, but I mean it's still fine. You'll just you know, do these Magnus ability because you're not going to be using it again anyways. Because when you're able to do that, you're going to shift back as much as possible. So, and everybody can make mistakes, guys. We're all human. So now you're able to do back to where you wanted to go. And now you want to use this for sure. And you want to go ahead and do this. And also this, which I assume probably will be able to finish, but I'm not sure. Yeah, you can actually chain, I think you can chain finish. Or cap your chain, I think, because the cooldown has a long cast, or a short cast time compared to his other abilities. So you'll be able to do that kind of situation. Now, unfortunately, this is going to look a little different because these turn counts are not going to add up. That's the professionalism of this video, guys. I'm sorry. I'm not perfect. I just assumed that you could shift back and forth since he's a Neo Vision unit, but it's not that overpowered. So it is what it is, guys. But now you can still do what you wanted to do anyways. So what we want to do here is use still in the normal form because you can't Brave Shift back anyways. You still want to go ahead and on turn 4, since it'll be turn 4, you want to be in the normal form since you can't Brave Shift back anyways. You want to go ahead and use all 3 of those unlocked moves that you got, and it has to be in a specific order so that the last move hits the hardest, because each one of those moves, the 30 MP, the 36, one gives modifier boost to the 43 MP chain. But it only lasts for 1 turn though, so you have to use them all in sequence. Let's see how that looks like. So we got these abilities here. So you want to use this, this, and this. And yes, he does get. There's another. If you use I don't think it's worth it. But if you use this ability, he does get 200% attack bonus, and also he unlocks some modifier boosts as well. But I don't think it's worth it because they're just one-hit moves, and you're not really going to be doing a one-hit move. You're using them to be a chainer. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and do this, this, and this, because the 43 is going to hit the most. Obviously, since he's only single casting all this, it's not going to really mean too much. But you can see the numbers are even getting a lot higher as we're progressing. So we're doing actually a lot of damage there with that. So that being said, now you would you know, just fool around for 1 turn, because then you want to Brave Shift back. You probably just want to repeat, because he does have 1 more turn on this. So don't pay too much attention to the text that I have in my video so far. It's a little off base. So you'll be able to. It's still a rotation though. It's still a rotation. You still have the Thunder and Imbue for 1 more turn. So you just do the same thing again. You just do this again. Remember, guys, that those modifier boosts only last for 1 turn. So you have to do that. You have to do the whole rotation all over again. And there we go. And then you just, rotate it over, since you would be able to Brave Shift again. You would just do that. You'd go back to the Brave Shift form, do the turn one with the Brave Shift again. So basically, it'd be turn 5 or 6. You'd be able to Brave Shift back again. I think it's turn 6. So these turns are a little off. I'm sorry, guys. But for those of you who are actually paying attention to what I'm saying instead of just reading the words, you'll understand. You're more invested, because there's a lot of people that just want to look at the text and not even listen to what I'm saying. Not to say I'm insulting anybody, but this is. I probably should have just checked in ahead of time, but it is what it is. So on turn 6, you just Brave Shift back again and do turn one listing here. It is what it is. So with that being said, let's go ahead and move on to the next part. Finishing part is obviously where his strength is going to be at maximum, because that's what he's built for. So I'm moving into the training dummy again, and we're going to be showing off at what he can do as a finisher, which most of you have already seen my video, but I didn't really show him off with all of his abilities. So we're going to go ahead and do that kind of thing. So for turn 1, definitely it's the same situation as before, where you can't grave shift back on the next turn. So these turns are a little off by about 1 turn, or a little off. So make sure you're just adjusting that turn count that I've got listed there, like a turn ahead, I think is what you would say. So normally what you would do, definitely grave shift to get that Thunder Imbue or Imperil, so that you can do those kind of things. Or just, you know, like I said before, being able to Thunder Imbue, or I mean just Imbue and Imperil for him with some other means. Maybe your Chainer can do the Imperiling and your support can do the Imbuing. And also he needs a lot of Olympus crystals, like I said. So that being said, let's go ahead and show you what that means by the turn 1. So we got Cloud here, and we're doing the same thing as before. We're just pretending that we don't have any support. By the way, there's still a bug with the game, as you can see there. Yeah, this is actually something interesting. There's a bug with the game while I'm trying to do this. I can't use items, so that's the only way to fix it. Yikes, we're gonna have to reel back. We have to try again. Okay, deep apologies for that. That was a bug. That was definitely something I couldn't have controlled. So now that you're in brave shifted form, you want to go ahead and do the same thing as before. Or maybe you can chain with your, you know, your other DPS that you'll be having, your other 2 DPS. Hopefully they're Stardust Ray chaining. So you want to go ahead and do that. This is assuming that you're not having anyone that has you're able to imbue or imperil. So that in mind, let's go ahead and move back. Unfortunately, on turn 2 we can't shift back already, but we'll be getting to that. So on turn 3, and in fact on turn 3, you want to go ahead and do those abilities. But let's go ahead and show you what would be on turn 2. So obviously he's not really much of a finisher in this position, but you can still, you know, do some things like, and maybe chain with your DPS of some kind, perhaps. You can also get some Olympus Cage from that, so that's also a good thing to have. So this is basically turn 2, just kind of just waiting. You're just waiting for the brave shift to come off cooldown. With that being said, let's go back and remind ourselves. Turn 3, not turn 2, turn 3. You want to brave shift back. I'm gonna go ahead and triple cast and then use all 3 of those abilities, and you are able to already Olympus, and maybe you should just Olympus this turn. With support, of course. So let's just say that we don't have our Olympus fully filled. Grave shift form back. And we're gonna go ahead and use all those abilities. Olympus damage boost and attack boost and all those kind of things, and then something that will definitely help us get our Olympus back up to full. But that being said, let's go move on to the next portion of our rotation here. You definitely want to Olympus on the next turn after you are able to get that Olympus boost, 100%. It only lasts for 2 turns, so you definitely want to use it on that turn. So yeah, you definitely want to have that Olympus up. I mean, if I really need, okay, let's just do it. I mean, you guys know how to use the Olympus, right? I'm joking. So there's that. And then at this point, if they're still, I don't know. Let's see. If they're still alive, just keep focusing on getting his Olympus. Basically, what you want to do is keep focusing on getting his Olympus crystals up. Focus on getting his Thunder Imbue and Thunder Imperil back up online. Working around with the Brave Shift and all that kind of stuff. So his cooldown on his Brave Shift is a little annoying. I didn't think it was that bad. I never really paid attention to it yet because I haven't really used him in that position where I needed someone. I usually had someone imbue for me. So if that's the case, then you never have to worry about his Brave Shift for him. You never have to shift back. Like in my video, I always had Pwn or Ambi were supporting and imbuing, so I never had to worry about anything like that. So with that case, and if that's the case, then I don't have to worry about, ever worrying about any of those turns being messed up, right? And neither will you. So with that being said, on the next turns, you're just gonna do the same thing. Get that Olympus modifier back up in however many turns it is. No, you can only use this once per fight, but if you want to take advantage of that as soon as possible, because you want to do as much damage as soon as possible, unless there's some threshold you need to worry about. So with that being said, let's move on to the last portion of my video here. So this is my future analysis of this unit. So it's been about, not a week. Maybe it's been a week. It's been about a week or so. I've used him quite a bit. I made a whole video on him destroying bosses over and over again. But how is he going to be used in the future from now? We don't know. Really, we really don't know how it's going to look like in the next month. But will he be just like I mentioned in the beginning of the video? Will he be just like Squall when 7 stars released? Because if you remember correctly, 7-star Squall came out when he was the first pullable, along with the Renoa. First pullable 7-star, and in a few months he was completely forgotten about because this kid was garbage, and he had no chaining abilities, and he was barely a finisher. So we're going to be doing this. Is this going to be the same thing? Is he going to be the 7-star Squall? Not the CG version. Is he going to be the 7-star Squall of the Neovision era? That might be true. We don't know yet. We don't know what the next Neovision, pullable Neovision crystal unit is going to be like until next month. Or whenever there's another one, maybe next week or something, a few days from now, who knows. His damage is extremely high, but he doesn't really do much else besides chain and finish. Nice, you could say, oh, all finishers are like this, but this guy is the first of his kind as a Neovision unit. So, kind of expected more. But we don't know how good he's going to be in the future from now. In the few minutes from now, is he even going to be used besides him just being a household name of being Cloud, and people just want to use him because he's Cloud? Otherwise, is he going to be used in any other situation? I don't know, because there could be a Neovision Crystal unit next month that's just a chainer, and he's much better than Cloud in terms of being a chainer, and then he's just completely forgotten about. So that's my analysis on that. He could be the 7-star Squall. But they could also, he could not be the 7. He could still be really strong even in the months ahead of time. You never know. Never know. But with that being said, I think we're about done here. I apologize for all the errors we've incurred in this video, either through means of not my control or just oversights. I hope you guys still understand the rotation. There's a general understanding of rotations and things, anyways, for you guys. Because some of you guys still don't really know how to use them, I think. I saw some people saying, oh, I don't know how to use Cloud. Can you make a video on that? And this is that. So this is way too long already. We're almost at, we're nearing 20 minutes. So we're done. That's the end of my video. Thanks for watching, guys. If you watched all the way through, type in #Neovision. Type in #Neovision for the comment section if you watched all the way through. And if this guide helped you out, please give a like, even with the errors that I've incurred. And I really hate making mistakes when doing video stuff, so I hope you guys appreciate that. I mean, I'm a human. Sometimes you make mistakes, even when you're making a video like this, and the music's out. So we're done. Thanks for watching, guys. Please leave a like. Please subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.